Welcome, folks, to another episode of Silverback Talks. I'm your host, Alan Vaughn. I'm here with Chris Okyen out of the state of Virginia. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thank you for
Hey,
having me.
yeah, yes, sir. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Tonight, folks, what we're going to be talking about is sit down arm wrestling. This is an area that I'm completely ignorant on, so this will be a learning opportunity for myself. And Chris is very extremely knowledgeable on. He is a big advocate and promoter for the sit down nationals being held in Virginia this year. Well, every year. And Chris is going to tell us a little bit about that event and a little bit about sit downs. And what I want to do first, though, Chris, is tell us a little bit about you so the folks know who they're listening to, about who you are and your team you pull with and your background.
All right, I'm Chris Oken. I've been pulling since about 2015. Um, I was introduced to arm wrestling at a local gym where I met the Stanaways, and they were hosting a tournament. And the team that the Stanaways, Steve and Randy, um, built their team is Team Brutal, and now they have a couple chapters locations. One's in Richmond, Virginia, and one's in Portsmouth um, area of Virginia in the South Side. Um, and I started to practice with them, and we would practice part of the year sit down, part of the year stand up, and we would just change the table up and so that we would have both going on. Um, and obviously, Steve's is a multiple time world champion. He's been arm wrestling since the late 60s. He has multiple world titles. And Randy's been arm wrestling for 51 years since 1979. And
I've heard that Steve used to arm wrestle Moses. If that's, I'm pretty sure they said it. Steve used to arm wrestle Moses back in the day.
yeah, he's pretty old. I don't want to say that, but he's he, he's in his 80s.
This is nothing we wouldn't say to Steve, folks. Steve and Randy both have great personalities, and they take that. God knows they dish it out as good as they can take it as well. But Steve actually just had a great match with Jr. at my last Val event that I riffed, and I was very proud to see. Steve. You ain't gonna crack Steve's wrists. That is one hell of a wrist to crack. And like you said, that's arm wrestling legacy that you just mentioned with the Stanaways with Steve and Randy. So great team, great group with Brutal that you're out of. Both chapters, both charters that you mentioned. I can name a ton of guys out of them. Just incredible folks that you're blessed to work with. And Chris, a little bit. You're being a little bit humble, not talking about yourself much, but I've had the pleasure of watching you for several years now, for at least 3 or 4 years, and you've got one of the nastiest left hand hooks in the state of Virginia, especially for our weight class. We're in the same weight class, so I don't think I hadn't eyed you before, and I was like, that's a left hand hook I'm not trying to get inside of right there is Chris Okens.
I really appreciate that, man. That's really nice of you, man.
Yeah, and I think
Really,
what you said, you and I were talking before. I think you got as high as what second in left hand, and I'm not sure about right hand. You'd have to tell me, Chris.
it would been. I was ranked third, but Shannon went to the 80 class, so it bumped me up automatically. It would have been second, but I'm not competing really currently, not training, so I just uh, dropped out of it for now.
Yeah,
So
getting some viewers dropping in here, Chris. I see James Looper just hopped in out of Triad Top Team up in Town. What's up, Loop? Great work this weekend, Loop. Taking first in both hands this weekend in the 231. I believe you did. So great work, Fat Boy. Um, So let's start talking about some sit downs, Chris. So I'm extremely ignorant when it comes to sit downs. So talk to me like I'm stupid with it. Let's talk about the basics because right now, best I can tell is the sit down arm wrestling is it's a dying legacy right now. It's not really going on across the country the way it used to, but you in the state of Virginia are keeping it alive.
yeah, it from what Steve told me, it was the worlds would switch it every other year, and then for 1 year, according to Steve, he said like for whatever reason they there was supposed to be it was supposed to be a sit down that year, and they did a stand up instead, and that but and I don't know, it kind of alludes that after that it wasn't as much. But yeah, in Virginia we're trying to in a lot of we have the sit down nationals. March 21st is the next one, um,
Nice.
and we trying to keep it alive. There's there's also, of course, there's a lot of really kind folks that have been putting on sit downs. Well, there's several, you know, a year that have been putting it on that were very generous folks like Glenn Brooks and some others. And but we're trying to keep the tradition alive and going. Um, and yeah, we wanted,
Awesome.
because it's a form that was around when in the early years, so it's
Yeah. I
neat.
know I've talked, I'm tight with a lot of the Princeton high hooker boys, and they've historically came down for it with Jacob Green and some of them. So Jacob's got one of his biggest wins in sit downs versus CJ. And I know he had told me recently he was trying to make that happen again, another rematch for him and CJ. So um, like to see that. And, I
Well,
see Voodoo's now chimed in. What's up, Voodoo, brother, my man? Um, Voodoo has one of the, and he said, in order to be an elite arm wrestler, you must win at every form of arm wrestling. He's a good, and I'll tell you right now, Voodoo with his technique, with his hand, is a scary dude in something like a sit down format with his hand. So, another one, Chris Wood, strong technique, and to me, an outsider who's never done sit down arm wrestling, I would think it keeps you more honest, and you tell me that, Chris. Whereas you have a puller like me that likes to get outside down into a, you call that, posted hook and kings move. That's not going to fly and sit down. I don't see that working in my favor. Whereas somebody stays in nice and tight like you, it favors you. And like a voodoo has a great hand, more technique, favors y'all more than someone like me.
yeah, I would say the difference, like you can't move around when if you once you get in a compromised position, you can't like move around it, um and or gain back like height, like with by standing up as much, um or by dropping.
Yeah,
um I see people like Joe Fitzsimmons. He'll open up at the back of the pad, and Dave Morocco is kind of open, on the sit down table. They both are, and so they're kind of that way. But you can't. I would say that a big difference in sit down is that unlike standing, like you can't. It's more close quarter of a fight, so there's less move for like margin of error and
mhm,
correction. You can't just move around an angle to recollect as much, and the margin of error, like um, once you get in losing position, you feel it uh, much more, and the match becomes determined more quickly at that point, I would say.
yeah,
um, so like you can still like top roll. There's people that um like do a lot of like flat, like hand control top rolls. There's people like um I kind of, how I see it, is Black Ice. He's a lot of back and to the side with his top roll.
yeah.
Rain likes to, he does like a climbing kind of top roll. um there's some people that are like real defensive on
So are
the on.
there Is there a rule difference, Chris, with anything between our traditional, what I'm used to with the standing arm wrestling and sit downs? What's the rule difference on any of them?
So the rules is that you can only have one glute or butt cheek. Uh, you only need one glute or butt cheek at a time on the seat.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
and
So you can get up at an angle and whatnot to pull, but you don't have to stay. What about your feet? Do your feet have to stay planted, or any rule on the feet?
there was a change in the rules of like it used to be that like it was that you have to be right underneath before go. Your feet had to be under the table, but because some people their legs couldn't fit on the table as much, they don't have to be before go, and after go you can swipe your legs out from underneath the table, and you can, not only you can move your butt around the whole seat, so it's not like you're totally fixed um, in your position that you're at. You can move your butt out and drag the opponent away from their power, and then kind of drop. You can pivot at your hip with one butt cheek up and pivot your torso, and
Yeah.
it's similar to how you would on a stand up table.
So
But
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to beat James Looper to the punch on this. Yes, I am well aware that I would have no problem with my legs fitting underneath the table, asshole. So thank you, James, for let me just go ahead and get that out of your arsenal because I knew it was coming. And James asked, so someone with a fat tail may have the advantage. We're just going to ignore that one, Chris. I don't, being he spelled fat with a PHAT, we're just going to go ahead and dodge that question. Um, as far as fouling, same same calls for fouls, same normal elbow fouls and stuff like that.
all yes, all those fouls are all the same. But if both butt cheeks or your glute is up, both of them are up, then it's also an infringement. It's a foul if both are.
Okay.
But yeah, but other than that, um, it's a lot of all the rules are the same rules that apply to a stand up table. It's yeah.
So let's talk about your previous the tournaments in previous years. What's the normal entry count? Well, first of all, let's talk about the structure of the event. Weight classes are your normal, typical weight classes, and the masters and everything. Tell me a little bit about that. Females. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we got the pro class, we got the masters 40, 50, and 60, and then we got women's and novice class, and they're all left and right handed. Besides the women's class is right only, um but everything else it's left and right, and there's multiple pro classes, and you yeah, and multiple for the other classes as well.
Nice. And what's your normal entry count that you've had in the past? Do you know off the top of your head about how many you would expect?
um I would say
From all the
like
videos I've seen, y'all have had a hell of a turnout the last few years I've been following it. You've had a great turnout every year.
I would say at least 100. um
Nice. Yeah. I'd say so. 100%. I definitely agree with that. At least 100.
I yeah, I really don't like know for sure, but yeah, at least definitely at least 100. I'm sure quite a bit more some years. I know we've had on the fifth anniversary, like we had a special like year that was we had like a lot of people from, like we had a lot of really known arm wrestlers come that year, and we had a really good turnout. We had like Richard Lupke's come one year, and we've had other arm wrestlers come other years, like Marcio, and you
Oh,
know,
really? Really?
yeah,
Well, Dan, it's funny you say that, Chris, because Danny Atkins just chimed in and said, hopes Jeff Hale shows up. He's became a stud at the sit downs over the past several years.
yes, he from what I heard, he's planning on coming, and uh,
Okay.
yeah, and man, he wrecks havoc
I
on
bet he
that.
does. I bet Jeff Hill does. Jeff Hill, you pick the format, and the dude's bad. Dude, his personality, what he brings to the table, the energy is what sets him apart from everybody. I mean, his skill is phenomenal, but his energy that he brings is what everybody loves.
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah, he's awesome, dude. Just fantastic guy. He's
so
real.
let's talk a little bit about the upcoming event that you got. You said March 21st, and where is that going to be at, Chris?
It's going to be at it's called Body by D Gym. The exact uh, I don't know the exact uh numbered address for it, but it's called Body by D Gym and Fitness Center and it's gonna be in Yorktown, Virginia. Um,
Yorktown, Virginia. There's a Facebook page for it, folks. You can go to it. You can go to Silverback Arms Crew. Myself and Chris have been sharing the daylight side of this event. You can go to the this page, this promo for here for this YouTube, this podcast, and see it as well. I've also covered it there. So Chris has done a phenomenal job of sharing the event all over every group. I've seen it myself, and I've tried to help him out. So check it out and get the address.
yeah, do the event page. Uh, we have the event page. If you just search 2026 Sit Down Nationals, it's also featured on the featured section of the Team Doodle page. Um, yeah,
And that's what Danny Atkins was just mentioned again. He said, "This is your chance to be a national champion." I mean, legit. Like this is a chance for you to come do something different and be a national champion. So this is exciting for a lot of folks that Looper mentioned earlier. He'd like to try this. I want to say, gosh, I want to say Voodoo. If you're watching, correct me. I thought Voodoo built a sit down table, and he may have it down in Princeton, in his area. But I want to say Voodoo had a sit down table because he was trying to get my ass on it. I don't know how many times so he could destroy me. I knew what he was trying to bait me into, but he was trying to get me on it. But the sit downs is when I look at it, it's just so different. Being relatively new to the sport, like I still consider myself. Am I tenured in the 4 years? Sure, but still only being 4 years in, I still have a lot to learn. And sit downs is something I have not even sat down at. I have not even tried before. So I plan on going up to Prince. I may need to go up Princeton and slap Voodoo around his own table here come soon, just to see what it's about before March 21st. See if I need to make the ride up.
you should come, man. We definitely love to have you. It's gonna be a fun event. I know Voodoo. I've seen in his in videos of his gym before. I've seen his sit down table. So yeah.
Yeah. They're very uncommon. So let's talk about a little bit more about the event. Who all you got riffing at the event, Chris?
We have Megan and John Brown, who's fantastic, um, and Randy referees. Um, we have, let's see, I think we've had I believe in the past, I think Shannon and
I was going to say, I thought Shannon ref the sit downs for you as well.
yes, Shannon and Stan and um, Gil Tremblay, um, and I'm trying to think here, Mike Benelli referees.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I think who else. I know I'm missing some people. It has to be some Team Brutal guys, and I'm not, and I apologize if I'm missing you. Um,
You're all right, bud. What about you got any sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to right now that's going to be helping out with that event? I know Team Brutal, obviously. I think Val's heavily involved in that event as well, right? Seeing y'all through it.
say what? Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said I know Team Brutal is one of your big sponsors for this
Yeah.
event, and then I want to say the Val boys get involved because they're Team Brutal members.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah.
big supporters of it.
They're definitely big supporters, and I know they've posted stuff for Dan's posted for the sit down nationals, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone.
Yeah,
Every,
man. Great community. Great community. Want to see the sit downs be? I'd like to. Uh, I really will. I'm gonna get ready to look at when we get off here tonight. I'm gonna look at my calendar, see if I can maneuver around, see if I can try and make it up there on March 21st. James Looper just asked a great question, Chris. He wanted to ask about the dimensions of the table. And now I know that probably the flat top's probably similar to what we're used to at stand up, but what about the height? That's probably what Loopers is asking more about, is the height of the table.
so you can, if you go to Google, I don't know the exact dimensions off the head, but if you Google search AAA sit down table um, dimensions or AAA AAA sit down table specs, I believe it'll be on their website. Um, it'll have all the dimensions laid out for the sit down table.
Okay.
And sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh
You're fine.
yeah, they have this it's I think it's I don't know if it's Arms I don't know exact website it is, but it's I know every time I look for it, I just Google AAA uh, sit down table specs, and you'll find it. It's
Okay.
obviously it's I don't know
So
exactly
that,
how.
that takes me to my next question. I was getting ready to ask what rule set you would be using, but you've referenced AAA a few times, so I'm assuming it'd be AAA rule set. Uh, and with Randy being, I'm assuming Randy's probably your head ref. I would imagine, right? Randy's probably going to be your head ref, and with it being AAA rule set.
Um, it's as far as I know, it's very similar to AAA rules. It's kind of, I believe that's pretty much kind of like the foundation of what that is the foundation of what it's based on. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. So it looks like I just checked out the AAA sit down table specs looper, and it's like very standard to restaurant tables, like a booth which you'd sit in. And I'm seeing that the seats are 18 inches high from the floor, and the tables are 30 by 30, 36 by 36. So, and I just see Voodoo just chimed in 28 inches from the floor, and I'm assuming he means the flat top is 28 inches from the floor, given that 10-inch gap between, as you mentioned, which makes sense, like you said, Chris, some of the taller pullers being able to fit their legs underneath that at 28 inches. Once again, no, I do not struggle with that, nor do you, nor does James Looper, who felt the need to ask. But yes, the 28 inches is seems to be what that gap is from the floor to the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, the what with the sit downs, y'all primarily outside, correct? But I've seen the pictures in the past. Y'all normally set your sit down uh, nationals outside. Is that correct?
We've had it two. Yes, correct. Yeah, we've had it 2 years at the Yorktown Beach, which is like the historic where the Battle of Yorktown
Yeah.
took right in the water. Before that, we had it at the same place we're gonna have it this year, Body by D Gym. Um, so yeah, it was beautiful, and yeah, it was. We had it 2 years in a row on the water, and we're back at Body by D Gym. Um, so it was pretty cool though. It was pretty cool
Yeah.
being right there and seeing the waterfront and you know being on the beach with the food and everything right there and the historic all the historic stuff right around there. It's pretty sweet.
So I hope it's not too early to ask this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't have it figured out yet. But what is the prizes for the winners and stuff? Because I'm sure the people wonder, what's the takeaways, whether it be medals, trophies, plaques, money. Every event does it different. Not one is right, not one is wrong, but we're all different. So like me with my events, I choose to do payout versus medals and plaques. A lot of some Val does both. Some places do medals, not money. Some beast mode does plaques. What are y'all are looking at it for sit down nationals?
So we got this year we had before medals, but this year we're doing like 3D. We have 3D medals it's the two polars, but it's 3D. Like there's depth to it. It's
Mhm.
the polars on the sit down table with the referee behind them, and it's colored, and it's so it's gonna be like a 3D medal, and I believe it's gold color, like it's gold for first, silver is second, and then obviously third bronze.
Mhm.
Uh, they're pretty cool, actually. They're pretty sweet looking trophies. I mean,
Very cool. Who's making those trophies for y'all?
the medals. I misspoke, but actually, I really don't know. It's Randy's. I mean, and Steve are doing that part of it, so I'm not exactly sure. Um, I I don't even know if it's like a local person or if it's. Oh yeah, it is a local person. I just found out,
I
but
will say
yeah.
if Randy and Steve are putting it together, I can promise you there's no internet involved. These two are going local. You can about guarantee that. You know, if they can't ride over to them and see them themselves, it's probably not happening. I know. Let's just call it, you know, how it is with them too. And but you know what? That's great. You know, and this goes back to the local businesses supporting the local events, and sit downs being one that we really need to do a better job, including myself, promoting to keep it alive because it is a dying legacy. You know, that sit downs is where it started, and you know that's I did a little research on it, what little I could, before you and I decided to do this podcast, and you know was talking to someone earlier. It's like when we're cutting up, whether we were kids at school or whether we were at a bar, which we shouldn't be, but if we're wanting to pull, what are you normally doing? You're normally sitting down. You're not. You're very rarely you standing at a, you know, 40-inch high table pulling on one another. So
Right.
that's you know, really need to do a better job as a community, including me, my team, Silverback Arms Crew. And 98% North Carolina will definitely get behind this better as well and see how we can help promote it, make it bigger and better for y'all to get up there. You know, you know, do you have any sponsorship packages available where we can get folks on it on the event page or anything like that? How folks can get involved?
Um, not that I know of. I don't really like know how it any like. That sounds interesting. Like, but I don't really know. Like, I'm not really familiar in that area of I'm kind of
Yeah.
totally ignorant area.
You're all right.
So
So if I was to post something about you would, we still have plenty of time. You know, we're over 3 months, well, 2 months out. Maybe I can help put something together. 98 North Carolina can help put something together for you. I don't want nothing for it, but I'll put together some sponsorship packages and get that over to you so you can start posting that and try to help build your event a little bit more. Just getting some folks behind it, and you know, you might get a you know bronze package. You know, people don't realize in this sport, $150 sponsorship goes a long ways. It covers some medals. It covers things like that. You know, the refs. You got to pay the refs, right? So we'll you know, you give me some time after this. Myself and Jamie Vaughn will throw together a sit down package for you, just to help you share that, get some sponsorship behind y'all.
oh man, I'm I'm that's awesome, dude. I'm very grateful, man. That's
Yeah, I don't want no part of it. It'll be all your contact. They come directly to you, but we'll just help you get get that flyer put out there, and I'll let you take it from there. And any help you need from us, we can. Myself and you know, I've got Jesse Hall, my sponsorship coordinator with 98 North Carolina. I know he would be absolutely love to get involved and build the sport, help it grow. This is somewhere that I feel like I've done a disservice to with the sit downs not being part of it, and need to encourage you a lot more. So I tell you what, that once soon as you and I hang up tonight, I'm going to get on the phone with Jamie Vaughn and Jesse Hall, and we'll try to get something sent over to you before, well, probably tomorrow, for you to start sharing and see what we get done in 2 months.
I really appreciate that, man. That's a
Yes,
blessing.
sir, buddy. Yes, sir, buddy. And like I said, I'm gonna look at my um calendar and see if I can get up there and you know, sit down refereeing something I've never done before. But I'd love to learn a little bit from Shannon, Randy, Steve, Megan, everybody that's up there, and see how I can contribute in the future as well.
Be sweet, man. That'd be sweet. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, have you had too many commits? Yeah, have you had a whole lot of people committing to the event that you know of? I know Team Brew will be a big turnout, obviously, and God knows it's about 150 of y'all. But I'm sure, I'm betting them Welded Arm. I see Jamie James is on now. Sure, Arms of Anarchy. They need to get their asses down there. Um, to support this as well. We got Welded Shut with Tommy Edens up there in Virginia. Virginia arm wrestling's really starting to build up with all these different teams. You know, it was just brutal a couple years ago. So I'm really proud to see it grow. And, you know, between the North Carolina teams right there on the line, there's no excuse for my team and ENC and Derek Lyles and his group. We need to get their asses up there too and help
Yeah.
support y'all.
Oh man, we'd love to have you all, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So we at this event, just a little bit more about the event before we start trying to, you know, you know, get start wrapping things up. Food, drinks, What's available for the folks there? Do they need to bring their own chairs? Just tell us a little bit about the logistics of it and what people need to be prepared for.
Okay. So it's gonna be at a gym. It's like it's kind of like it's a gym, and it's gonna be in the soccer side. So there's it's not like a bar or a restaurant. So we will. I don't know if we try some. Oh yeah, we'll try and bring. I think this year we're gonna have some snacks for like sale, like at a table. But I definitely recommend bring your own, like bring food too. You know, so you can eat. You know, something. But as far as like nearby, there's some nearby good places to eat. We got a good Italian place. We got some good Mexican places, and yeah. Was there was
But
there
yeah,
there?
so one of the things about our, it was there. Are people allowed to bring outside drinks in coolers? Is alcohol allowed on premises? These are things people would want to know. Before they get there. How's the parking? Everything good there for everyone?
Yeah, yeah, you can bring your own drinks, but as far as alcohol is not allowed on the premises because, I mean,
So let me highlight that. Let me highlight that for everyone though, because that's a big deal. Alcohol is not allowed on premises, folks. So that's a big deal. Please don't disrespect the event by showing up with alcohol. So just note that, y'all.
yeah, um, yeah. So yeah,
So it's obviously kid friendly. Is there things for the kids to do around there, run around, play, stuff like that? I know you said something about the soccer side.
yeah. It's going to be on the soccer side, so they have um, it's a big like soccer field, so there's a lot of place for them to run. Like they can run around, and I mean, if they would mind, but they probably wouldn't mind. They do have a giant WWE ring on one side of it because they do professional wrestling. But I'm not gonna say go in there, but I'm not gonna say don't. But
So
maybe I
Jamie
should.
James can come. Jamie James can come and he can break Sierra's ankle in this ring once again if he chooses to. He can come there and get her in an ankle lock. All right, good to know. Sierra's probably going to stay home for this one.
Funny.
But that's awesome. So, Chris, this has been great. This has been very educational for myself. I love the turnout we had on the comment section with Danny, Looper, David Redmond, my brother, Voodoo. Once again, family. These boys are family to me. Um, this sport has been very generous to me, and I know it's been generous to you. And we're blessed more than we deserve with the friendships we build in this. And seeing the names that's popped up in this comment section with the Dannys, the Redmond, the Jamie, my little ginger handful of hell, Voodoo, their family, and seeing them pop up in here, I really appreciate their support, and I know they will do the best they can to support this event as well. And I'm looking forward to getting on the horn with Jamie right after this to see what we can do to give y'all and try to get some. Get some, I don't want to say money back in your pockets, but get some more support to the event from our community as well. And I'll be in touch with you, Chris, and we'll get all that set up very, very soon.
I really, really appreciate that, brother. I really do.
All right.
Mean-
Anything else you'd like to mention to anybody before we wrap things up? Thank yous or shout outs to anyone? Give some people some recognition they deserve.
Well, I want to give you thanks to you, man, for everything. Thank you for posting the stuff, um, sharing it. Thanks to just all everyone who's been sharing the sit down nationals group the event and um, VAL. Um, just yeah. Trying to think. 98% for helping sharing um, the stuff uh, on their page as well.
Yeah, and once again, Chris, I know we joke about a lot, and God knows we give them shit. But the Stanaways, let's give the Stanaways once again another shout out to Randy and Steve. Wow, great people, and proud to stand across the table for them when I ref with all the Val events. Shane O, was you late to the party, homie? But welcome and go back and watch the playback, brother. But once again, Chris, thank you so much, dude. This has been awesome. This has been a big change up from most of my podcasts. And I can't wait to see how much I hope it supports the event. I hope it helps the event grow. And I'll be in touch with you very, very soon, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you so
All
much.
right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is Alan Vaughn, Silverback Talks, 98% North Carolina. And I've had the pleasure of having Chris Oakwood with Team Brutal. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all. Stay safe.
Good night.